part two. I got a little puffy eye this morning. Just, I feel so loved. I feel so held. I got really nervous right before I knew I was going to go public with this thing and talk about it. I got very nervous because I know I'm swinging the pendulum, and I know it swings back, so, and I know the person that I'm dealing with she would throw everything at it, I'm not afraid of that. So, but waking up to all these comments and personal messages that you guys have been sending me and just showing me support and love is just, I was crying because I reflected on those times. I was reflecting on those times, and I was so lonely. I felt so alone in a lot of these things. And it wasn't because I didn't have people around me that love me or that can, be there for me. I just didn't know what I needed. I didn't know what help I needed. I know how words, you can say one thing and it can be interpreted one way, and then something happened that this is still the father of my children. So some part of me was like, I don't want him harmed, because they're not going to be happy with that. They'll be hurt if he was hurt. I don't want to say how fucked up this girl is being, because I know at least two of my bitches that will fuck her up real bad. Like, and I don't know if that's what I wanted. So I was very, I felt very lonely in this time. So, really just reading you guys' comments and love and just holding me and seeing my strength through all of this, it just really warmed my heart this morning and the fuel to do this next video. So hopefully I can stay clear enough to just really, tell these stories. So last place I left off was, she's now in our life. I don't have words to communicate what I'm feeling, because all of these emotions that I've never felt before are coming up. So we have a relationship with a therapist that we were both going to see. This was his therapist, and I will go in the sessions. So I said, hey, make the appointment with the therapist, so at least we can get language to talk to the children. Because the last time, the first time they met her as Auntie Gina, mommy's friend, Auntie Gina. Now she's Auntie Gina's daddy's girlfriend, and it's confusing, like I don't know what to say to them. So let's go talk to this woman. He kept giving me the runaround with that. He kept saying, oh, okay, I will. Or, and then, 3 weeks will go by and I'll ask. And then again, it's intensifying. The girls are still asking more questions, and he was like, oh, the therapist is gone away. She's not here. She's on the mainland and I can't. So basically now he's feeling validated with this girl, Ronnie. Okay. Oh, it's so much. I'm not doing this to dog Ronnie out. My intentions for this is to bring awareness to this toxic person that's spewing a lot of toxicity in this community. It's not just to me. All of this was triggered when a sister hit me up in my inbox, and she was like, hey, I'm getting cryptic messages from Gina about you. So now she's still like, I haven't talked to this girl. I've blocked her out of my life for a long time ago. She's now reaching out to because things have come to a head. Mind you, there's a baby involved now. This man is conscious of his, mental illness, so he's getting help for it. She's alone. There's a lot happening right now, and she is on edge, and she is tripping because the karma of everything that she's put out here is now coming back at her. Yeah, so she has these 3 kids now that she has to deal with on this island by herself, and then she's spewing hate at anybody who could help her. So when I got this message about this, and then the girl explained to me how she has been a little toxic towards her, and I was like, you know what, now that you're saying something, because I feel like if I just came out and said what was going on, people were gonna like, oh, you're jealous and you're hating on their relationship, and that would have been the response that I got. But the fact that somebody else was like, yo, what's up, I'm like, oh, all right, someone else can say this girl is toxic too. And this chick, ride or die, she was like, I got your back. I'm willing to, just put it out there. I got your back. So I felt confident, like, oh, okay, one person got my back in this. That's going to back me up when I start talking about how crazy this woman is. It was enough fuel. Like, okay, thank you, Summer. And so where did I leave off? Therapist, I forget. I wasn't want to get all crazy. So yeah, so he's not calling a therapist. All this stuff is going on. He's making excuses. I recognize at this point, this is never about him. Ronnie is a narcissist. That's where I left off. And this isn't to bash him. This is to show this girl. But he is part of the story. So things just gonna have to come out. Yeah? And I told him this. I said, I'm gonna tell my story. All of it. And you're gonna have to be okay with that. So this isn't to bash him. But he's a narcissist at the time. He has this hate for me that he's moving in his delusion that he think I did something to him. So he has this hate that he's moving in. And then he's now being put on like a pedestal on some level. This girl is gorgeous, beautiful, tall, beautiful girl, you know. So now he's validated by this beautiful woman that's, you know, in his life, showing him love. He, at the time, produced, like, there was a song on the radio. There was the #1 song on the radio that he had produced. So he's getting a lot of clout from that. So people in the community now, when you get to see people and where they stand in these things, so Ronnie's getting all this recognition, and it's like, oh, big star in Hawaii. So people start doing that split down the middle, and I started seeing friends fall out. I started seeing friends ghost me. I started seeing all kinds of stuff happen. You know, I see y'all. And so he's fueled by this, and there's nowhere is he being anywhere rational. And the drinking and the drugs and all of that is still going on. She's putting her manipulative hate there to get at me. So this is all intensifying, and this is all becoming too heavy for me. And I'm saying, please call the therapist. You know, if you don't call the therapist, I'm not allowing these pickups. You're not picking these kids up anymore, because I don't know how to communicate these things, and this is getting really toxic. So until you make this appointment, we're going to stop these visits, okay? So we can have a better way to do it. Oh, no, that's not what I said at first. I didn't say that at first. What I said at first was, because this is heavy, because this is so triggering, can you not have her around them when you come and pick them up? You spend a little bit of time with them. The little bit of time that you do spend with them, can you spend it with them? This girl now came back to this island with 2 children. So she has 2 kids. He has my 2 children. So there's 4 children in their little tiny wherever there was. You know, the kids are fighting with each other. They're not really spending the time with him. The purpose of him picking them up was to spend the time with him. So this is happening. And that's logical. I'm like, yo, like, spend the time with them. Spend the time with your girlfriend after. Like, what's, you know. He was like, okay. He didn't do that. And then Vama comes home one day, and she was just like, well, why don't you like Auntie Gina? So now I see the manipulation happening on the end, where they're getting in my children's head and making me seem like I'm the one doing something wrong, you know. And then that pissed me off. And I was like, Vama is asking these questions. I don't know how to answer it. Please make an appointment with the therapist. No appointment with the therapist. 6 months of this happened. No appointment with the therapist. I came to my breaking point at 6 months of it. And I said, I'm not doing any more of these visits. You're not picking them up anymore until you make this appointment so we can talk. Because remember, my whole thing is I'm not rationalizing shit with a crazy person, because it's not getting anywhere. So I'm cutting it off. The toxicity is happening. I'm breaking down. I can't be strong and be here for my children. I'm the only one that got, because you ain't doing shit. So I gotta work. I gotta keep my health up. All of this is not good. So let's make it right. My well-being should be considered in this as well. You know, so he's happy picking up the children, having this great time with him and his girlfriend and my children. My children are a little miserable. They're coming home. So I sent him the message like, I'm not doing any more of this, right? So of course he was angry. He sent a message back. Then I get a message back, was like, I'm with Gina now. You just need to deal with this, and she's gonna be a part of the children's life. Fuck you. Fuck no. Right? 1, there was no love there. They didn't love each other. They don't even know what that is, right? They both was bonding on the hate that he felt for me, and whatever envy, jealousy that she felt for me was enough to fuel something for them to have this passion or whatever they had, right? And I knew that. So when he started sending me these messages, and I knew that something else was brewing in there, and I know this woman have a specific level of obsession and hate for me. Now my children are in her care, and I'm supposed to be okay with that? Fuck you, no. So he got mad. and all of this. So this, this communication stopped. He wasn't seeing the girls. Some time go by. I'm still out here now to counter all of these things that's happening to me in my healing process. I went full on creative mode. I went full on Kanama mode. I'm doing music. I'm performing. So recorded this album with him. Amazing album, right? And this, like, we were about to put this album out. This was the thing that everybody about to, Kanama, yeah. And then all this stuff happened. And in some of his vindictiveness towards me, he just kept my music from me. I wouldn't have access to my music because he had everything, right? So I had no access to my music and I was starving. This is songs that I wrote in Bassa. So what are you going to do with that? Like, who's going to sing Bassa songs, Give me my music. He wouldn't do it. I was like, but I needed to keep doing things so I don't go crazy. So I just put myself in my creativity, and I'm like, okay, if you're not going to give me my music, then, and I can't, put my music out there, the recorded version of it, then I'll create a band around me and I'll perform my music, live. And that's exactly what I did. So I created a band around me, started performing my music live. People are like, come on to shit, la la la. That's validating me in a lot of ways. It makes me feel good because I'm putting my creativity out here and people are feeling it. So I'm at a show, I get booked to do a show, and the day the promoter posts a flyer and with my picture on it on Instagram. And I didn't know this till after, but this girl, I posted this on my Facebook, and like, lure you're in to watch this next video. So she went and put these barf faces on my post, on the post, like, barfing, like, whatever. I didn't know that till later. So I'm at my gig. I performed. Everything is good. I'm having a good ass time. All my people are around. I come outside just to get some fresh air. I'm laughing. I'm looking super cute, having a good time. And I looked and I see them two walking towards us. His head is down and she's looking on. And I'm like, what's this gonna be? So I just continue just interacting with my friends. I was like, I'm just gonna ignore it. They might just walk by. So I'm interacting with my friends, and I come, and he stops, and they both stop. She's a little behind, and then he's in front. And he comes like, oh, look at you. You think you this, and you... And then he's just like, start being belligerent, just like saying stuff in my face. And I'm like, and then he was like, and that's why your dress is ugly. And I was like, oh my God, what is... So I was so confused by that. Right? But he's like, legit, we can go right now, boo. We can go right now. Like, oh my God. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I said, what are you doing? Like, I really looked at him like, what are you doing? And I looked at her like, what are y'all doing? Like, what are you doing? What is this? I was like, you're gonna fight me in the middle of Chinatown? That's what's about to happen? And then there was a moment where I looked at her dead in the eye, like for like good 3 seconds. Like, we made this eye contact. I just looked at her like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Gina? What are you doing? And then, people came. The promoter girl, she came, she, split things up. And she's like, what's that about? So I tell her that. She was like, did you say Gina? And I was like, yeah, I just said Gina. She was like, look at this. And she shows me the thing with the bar faces. So in full disclosure, I'm telling a lot of these stories after reconnecting with Ronnie, right? So this isn't to bash him, but I'm telling these stories after reconnecting with him and seeing inside of what was happening. Because on the surface, it looked a way to me, because that's what it was. These two people are coming. He's putting his hands up and he wants to fight, and and she's looking stupid. And so on the surface, I was like, y'all showed up to fight me? Like, what the fuck is going on? After hearing inside this story, he didn't even know I was going to be there. He didn't even know I was going to be there. She knew I was going to be there. She know how triggering this relationship between me and Ronnie is, yeah? We hadn't seen each other for a while. She set that situation up so he can meet me face to face right in a moment and react. Ronnie is in the psychosis, remember. He's crazy, right? So when he showed up, and that was I understood my confusion then after I heard inside of what was going on before after that happened, recently when he told me. So I was like, that's why I was confused. Like, cause he was just really like, it was just like a reaction. Like he didn't know I was going to be there. And it was just like, he just had to perform. It seems like he was performing for her. He needed to do something to make her feel like, I fucking hate her, So it was such a bizarre thing. And I just left and I was like, this is so weird. Why do I have to deal with this, y'all? Mind you, when I say I'm on my Eckhart Tolle, like I'm in my present moment. I'm meditating. I'm trying to like freaking levitate. I'm getting level head. Like then I'm being pulled. And on the other side of this, I'm being pulled in this ghetto ass, just dramatic, dumb, immature shit. And I was just like, yo, can I be great? Can I be great? Can y'all take y'all stupid, nasty ghetto shit over there and let me be great? That was really annoying me. More than anything, that was annoying me. And because people weren't allowing me to be great. And I just wanted to ascend. I wanted to, to grow. I wanted my heart to be at ease. I wanted to find peace. I wanted to find clarity and smoothness and all of that. And it was just having to deal with all of this negative stuff. So I just got really annoyed with that. So I sent him one of those letters, like I sent her a message. And I was like, because mind you, this whole time she sends me messages and she wants to fight and da-da-da-da. And I was like, or is trying to create as if she's now the woman in his life and she's going to be the woman in my children's life. So I need to be, having conversation. I was like, this ain't got nothing to do with you, Gina. And I was never rude to her. I was never hostile because I always knew it had nothing to do with her. Like my relationship with him had nothing to do with her. And I knew her thing was on some crazy obsession stuff, and I just have to distance myself from it, because if I fed into it, that's exactly what she wanted. She wanted to trigger me, to feed into it, to give her the attention she was looking for. This girl loves me. She loves me and she wants attention from me, and I wouldn't give it to her, and it made her angry. So that's how I figured it out. So I sent her a message and I was just like, what are you doing? In my message, I was like, what is you doing, baby? What are you doing? I was like, really? Because at this point, I'm like, maybe I can appeal to the Black woman in her, woman to woman. Let's talk. Maybe I can tug at her heart spaces on some level. Maybe I can remind her that we had a relationship, that I love her child, like I still do. Like maybe we can have a conversation about that, And then I was just like, I was like, this is what you want around your children? I sent her that message, looking out for her in it still. Like, this is what you want. I was like, Ronnie is who now you have around your two beautiful children? What are you doing? She hit me back like, you better take my kid's name out your fucking mouth. And you started. So that's the fight that she was looking for, because she needed me to respond. Anything I said would have been like, ah. So now she's fueled and and I was like, oh yeah, y'all are really cut off from all of this. So what else happened? Not long after. Now I think this is when I realized that if I just pull myself out of this, they'll implode, because this is stupidness, and as long as I'm not the person they can fixate on, then they will have to just see their own demons. Like, I lived with Ronnie for the last 7 years with these two children. He ain't nobody who's going to be there and help take care of the kids in that way. So I know she's still dealing with the burden of being a mom, waking up every day and doing that shit. That's work. How much energy are you going to have to keep coming at me, especially if I'm not giving you anything? So I figured at some point it would be like, oh, okay, I need to just chill. And that's exactly what happened. At some point, it all, they imploded. They had a fight. They broke up. That's what I heard. This is before the baby now. This story still goes. This is before the baby. So they had a fight, and then he reaches back out to me and wants to find a place to come back in the girl's life. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I ain't doing none of that until you go to the therapist. Like, I'm not going there with you. And he's like, I'm like, yeah, boo, I've always, I don't care what you think. I had your back and you don't know. So I'm trying to decipher this crazy talk, because like I said, I couldn't read what was going on inside of this crazy people. You don't know what they're doing. So, and that's the scary part. So I couldn't read. So when when he's in like a space of like, he's broken the hold that she had on him, then he would say some stuff and then something else would come out. And I was just trying to like decipher some of the stuff. And in what I heard him say when he was trying to tell me that they weren't together anymore, I can tell that she was driving this thing, right? I can tell that she was the one driving this thing. And then I was like, all right, well, no, because she was the one who sent the text message about, I'm with Ronnie now, da, 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 da. She was the one who was doing all the things. It wasn't him that was sending all these text messages. So I said, well, either way, you need to. And I told him, I was like, no, you do this, and this is not the first time he's done it, he will find these women to fight his battles for him. Yeah. And when his shit gets all crazy, then he backs off and make them, it was always her. It was, oh no, you played a role in this all along. So, hi, Vama. Let me finish my video. I'm almost done. I know it is. Close the door, baby. So, yeah, that was, so they broke up, right? They broke up. But Gina wasn't satisfied. Gina is a miserable, miserable person. Yeah. I'm not saying this to bash this girl. It just is what it is. You can't, like, there's no level of peace that you have within yourself when you can spew out this much hate for no reason. For no reason. I have done nothing to this girl but love her. Nothing. Even the thing with my husband, all that, I don't even talk to her. I don't respond like that. When I realized that day in my last video, I talked about when I found out that they had a thing going on while him and I was still together. Like, I never even confronted her about that. I never even said anything to her. I was just like, oh, well, this is not in my life anymore. Okay. So I never even said any hateful words to her to make her have anything towards me. So this is more putting things into perspective, that this is something against me. This girl has a thing for me. Yeah. And in the next video, I'm going to tell y'all about the time they came and took my baby.